Sheffield United have 1 foot in the Championship playoff final, but there's a job to finish first. The Blades return to Bramall Lane with the luxury of a 3-0 lead from the first leg to leave Chris Wilder's men on the verge of making Wembley and a crack at ending nearly 4 decades of playoff misery. Bristol City are in town tonight, who finished 22 points behind the Blades in the end-of-season standings and face a near-impossible task of keeping their promotion hopes alive. Only once in playoff history has a team come back from 3 or more goals down to reach the final, and it happened on the other side of the Steel City. 2 years ago, Sheffield Wednesday overturned a 4-goal deficit en route to the League One final. Proof that it can be done, but even the most optimistic fan would struggle to see a way back from here. We're at Bramall Lane tonight. It is the Championship playoff semi-final second leg. It is Sheffield United against Bristol City. And this could either be fairly routine, or we could be about to witness something truly extraordinary. Lee Hendry alongside me for this one. Lee, the odds massively stacked in Sheffield United's favour. How should Bristol City be approaching this one?
Yeah, I think the odds, there's no doubt. I mean, the scoreline just speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? And I think the way Bristol City, well, I actually look at the starting lineup and see Naki Wells in there. I actually felt that they might have gone for the 2 up top, with Sinclair, Armstrong and Naki Wells, and really have a good go. But I suppose he's got to box clever, hasn't he, Lynn Manning? You know, he can't just throw everything at it in those early stages. He's got to weigh it up, and he's got to play the occasion. So they've got to start on the front foot if they're going to give themselves any single chance of recovering here.
Some familiar faces. Harry Maguire, where it all began. He is back here to support Sheffield United. We saw Chris Kamara there as well, Trevor Birch, the chairman of the EFL, and the 2 Sheffield United co-owners in attendance tonight. Stephen Rosen on the right, Helmi Al-Touki on the left, taking over from Prince Abdullah just before Christmas and hoping the season ends in glory. It is going to take a Herculean effort for Bristol City to turn this one around. But this is the Championship after all. It throws up all manner of surprises, but this would be one of the biggest surprises of them all. Wembley beckons for one of these 2 teams. Sheffield United in the box seat, but taking nothing for granted. A lovely evening, a balmy evening in the Steel City. Well, after the heartbreak of missing out on the top 2, Sheffield United have emerged from the wreckage to put themselves in the driving seat to go up in the best way possible. The trip to Wembley looks nailed on after a dream first leg outcome. For Bristol City, it's near mission impossible. Only one side in playoff history has ever come back from a situation like this to reach the final. Liam Manning insisting his team are not out of this yet. And he's been reminding his team of some classic comebacks from years past, including the Champions League final of 2005 when Liverpool fought back from 3 down to beat Milan, and Sheffield Wednesday's comeback victory against Peterborough just a couple of years ago in this very city. A raucous atmosphere at Bramall Lane. George Baldock, fondly remembered, gone but never forgotten. What a player he was. Bristol City backed by around 2,000 fans here tonight, and travelling here in hope. As for the team news, Sheffield United's starting lineup shows 2 changes from the win at Ashton Gate. Andre Brooks netted from the bench and starts in place of Ryan Brewster, and Tom Cannon partners Kiefer Moore up front as Tyrese Campbell steps aside. Harrison Burrows scored the opening goal from the spot in the first leg and grabbed an assist. Vinny Souza once played under Bristol boss Liam Manning at Belgian side Lommel, while starman Gustavo Harmer is looking to reach his 2nd Championship playoff final in as many years, but hoping to finish on the winning side this time, having lost at Wembley with Coventry. Bristol City failed in their appeal against Rob Dickey's red card in the first leg, so he's out, as is Joe Williams, who was forced off with ankle ligament damage. Cameron Pring, whilst not fully fit, is back in after hamstring trouble, and Hayden Roberts, who came on from the bench last time, now is on from the off. There are 2 further changes as George Earthy and Scott Twine replace Yu Hirakawa and Anis Manetti, who's slotting behind the Key Wells, who's without a goal in his last 6 and had just 1 touch in the Blades box at Ashton Gate. Well, Sheffield United's record in the playoffs is well known. They are yet to win one. Can Chris Wilder be the man to break the curse? He says he wants to take his team to Wembley more than anything else in his professional career. Liam Manning says all of the pressure is on the Blades tonight, but he wants his players to look in the mirror knowing they gave everything. The familiar refrain of the Greasy Chip Butty song ringing out at Bramall Lane, a sun-kissed Bramall Lane this evening. Some atmosphere, Lee.
It really is. I mean, it's one that makes your hair stand up on the back of your neck. You know what's at stake, don't you? This is the game that leads to that big occasion at Wembley on the 24th of May.
So it will be Sheffield United to get us underway. And they are kicking from right to left in this opening half. Bristol City attacking the Kop in the opening 45. I'm fascinated to see how Bristol City approach this one.
Yeah, I really am as well. I mean, their away form has been abysmal, but this form, lots of people say, goes out the window. I still believe that form has a big say in things, but this is their cup final. It really is, and they have got it all to do. They have to start brightly. They have to ask questions of Sheffield United. They didn't do that enough at Ashton Gate for me. So it's all to do for Liam Manning and Bristol City.
Well, the last time Bristol City recovered from such a deficit as this, 2002 in League One at Mansfield. With 3 minutes to go, they trailed 4-2 and ended up winning 5-4. Well, they have scored just 3 goals in one away game during the regular campaign. A 3-1 success at Preston back in November. A couple of positional switches as well for Bristol City tonight, with Ross McCrory flipping over to the right-hand side. The first time he's played there since February, but it is his more natural side. He is right-footed, and he's been performing on the left of late. And Zach Viner is now in the heart of that back 3 for Bristol City, moving across from the left, and Pring filling that particular slot. And here come the Robins, and Twine takes a tumble. The referee let it go, but there's Twine! First shot in anger. And it was Earthy, I think, wasn't it? Dropped kindly for him.
Yeah, it's an excellent bit of work here, it really was. I mean, I must say, no one really going engaging, making any attempts, really. It's Scott Twine that has that nice little swipe at goal. I mean, he's on the floor, ends up coming back to him, really fortunate. Hodzic doesn't clear his lines well enough. That's just a little alarm call for Sheffield United. Scott Twine can produce good moments going forward. George Earthy as well. They've got that little bit of difference this evening.
Long by McCrory, one by Robinson. There's Brooks, who's been very effective from the bench in recent times. His last 2 goals have both come from the subs bench, including in the first leg at Ashton Gate.
And it does just show the strength and depth that Chris Wilder has. I've been so impressed with the recruitment over the summer, leading into this season. And I'm really, it's started to show, hasn't it? I mean, you look at the team tonight, as I said, Brooks comes into the starting lineup. He showed that he's got the ability to certainly produce performances, create, score goals. And that's where you leave Brewster to have that little bit of time on the bench, rest up. Same with Tyrese Campbell.
Here's Max Bird playing a more deeper role tonight alongside Jason Knight. It's gone loose, and Robinson is there to meet it. This is Burrows, who opened the scoring at Ashton Gate from the penalty spot. And there has been plenty of debate around that penalty decision in the first leg. Bristol City appealing the red card, but unsuccessful, meaning that Rob Dickey is absent for this. It's a lovely ball inside for City Peck. Now Kiefer Moore, gathered by Cannon. Looking for his first goal at Bramall Lane. Fizzes it wide.
Yeah, it's frantic, it's brilliant, isn't it? Harmer looking for something on the edge of the box, which he does. He gets City Peck. They work it well. I mean, listen, Tom Cannon, he's got every right, hasn't he, to try and pick out that far corner, and he isn't a million miles off, sticking in that far stanchion.
Just the 1 goal for Tom Cannon so far in Sheffield United colours, and that was in defeat at Burnley over Easter.
I think that's the other thing that obviously Bristol City have to be aware of, don't they? Having the 2 up top, and the difference of Tom Cannon and Tyrese Campbell, but still having the physicality of Kiefer Moore, who caused so many defenders problems physically. And that's what I've seen with Sheffield United. They're not worried about trying to pass that direct ball into Kiefer Moore and work off him. That's where they're so dangerous high up the pitch.
Tanner. Down the line from McCrory. And Burrows trying to make sure there that it reaches Cooper, and it does. What a fine season he's had between the posts for Sheffield United. Player of the year, 21 clean sheets, the most for the club since Dean Henderson in 2018-2019.
Been a key addition, hasn't it? As I said, the recruitment this season has been absolutely magnificent. I think the turnover and obviously what Chris does behind the scenes and his staff, I've been really impressed from the start of the season right until now. That's why they're in such a good position. I know that the disappointment of not going up automatic, but I've really liked the attitude in that first leg in particular, the way they come out fighting, and that's how Chris Wilder certainly wants his side to be and perform, and they did that brilliantly in that first leg.
I spoke earlier about the strength and depth that Sheffield United have. Bristol City have gone with a very small squad this season, didn't sign any players in January, and Liam Manning was asked about that yesterday. He admitted that he was frustrated that they didn't add to the squad because injuries bite, and they're particularly short in defence at the moment. Here's Roberts. He's managed to give Brooks the slip. Now Sousa will chase him down, and he's done that all season long.
Well, that's the protection there, isn't it, Sousa? That's what he does so well. Just sits, protects. He's got ability to force Sheffield United on the front foot. That has been the problem, hasn't it, for Bristol City and Manning? They've had injuries, and I think they've dealt with it really well. He's had a great season. The side that I've really enjoyed watching this season. I like his style of play, but I mean, having achieved and done so well this season, Well, they have to invest that little bit more if they are to go that next step, if they still don't this evening.
Yeah, they were 12th in the table on Christmas Day, Bristol City, 8 points from the playoffs. And their home form really the reason that they were able to get in there. Away from home they've struggled. Twine. It's an interesting cross. McCrory! There's a decent ball in.
That's one thing that you will get from Ross McCrory. He's done it on that other side. He will come and join in. Scored himself a brace this game of the season, and he just enters and finds himself in positions. You can just see, can't you, that Harrison Burrows has just switched off. He's not knowing what's in behind him. That's the difference in this formation. Having the wing-backs, they have to go and venture into the box, and sometimes it catches full-backs out playing in the back four.
Max Bird over this corner, the most assists of any Bristol City player this season with 8. It's a flat one, and the whistle has gone.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a hustle and bustle there, you can see, can't it? Knight and Hadzic pulls his shirt off his back.
Fourth official, Rob Jones. He's been to the playoffs before with MK Dons, Liam Manning. Beaten by Wickham in the semi-finals. Roberts. Being pursued by Brooks. There's Twine. He will have groin surgery in the summer.
I thought he was a big miss in that first leg, if I'm being quite honest. He brings something a little bit different. His good ball situations, his clever thinking, awareness, and his creativity is absolutely huge. They have started really well, actually, here at Bristol City.
That's a good ball. Roberts on the stretch has got their options in the middle as well. Twine is one of them. Got away from him, just seemed to stumble there at the crucial moment, and it's straight down the other end. It's Viner able to get there ahead of Cannon.
Not sure what was on Scott Twine's mind there. I felt, was he trying to pick a pass out? Was he trying to take a shot and completely misjudged it? But it was good work down that left-hand side. Super little fizz ball out. And then here, I'm not sure what he's thinking. Does he stumble on that approach? Fantastic pass from Max Bird from that midfield area, utilising the width.
Knight. And a player there who is likely to be in demand in the summer. Jason Knight has played every minute in the Championship this season, played in all 92 Championship games since joining us. Twine now feeds it through towards Wells. He's got there, and he's been backed up by McCrory. And Souza is there to sniff out the danger for Sheffield United. Lovely touch inside from Harmer. Bird in sharply on Peck, and Bristol City playing very well here. And come knocking again, Roberts. Bird. Knight, who will have a go. And Cooper nets the save.
I'll tell you something, Manning will be over the moon in these opening 10 minutes or so, because they have started on the front foot. They've been positive, they've kept the ball well, they've utilised wide areas. Roberts has got so advanced, hasn't he, on that left-hand side. This is a routine save that Cooper should make, but little alarm bells, aren't they, that goal might just give him a little bit more incentive and a bit more promise and confidence. I actually felt that Cam Pring might play as a wing-back further on, but definitely is that Hayden Roberts is playing further on as a left-sided wing-back this evening.
Robinson followed closely by Earthy. Very aggressive start from Bristol City here. Exactly what Liam Manning would have wanted his team to do. Get on the front foot nice and early.
There's been a lot of mind games and lots of things have been said in the press, haven't they, that they don't feel that this is tie over. It's the end of the campaign. He still believes, and he has to believe. You know, he's the heart and soul of that changing room. He has to make his players believe that they can go and get something this evening. And on the flip side of that, Chris Wilder, well, you know he's going to approach this game. He's going to sit in and just try and soak up pressure for 90-plus minutes.
Not his way, though, is it?
No, definitely not. And I think, listen, they were always going to come here and start probably the brighter Bristol City. I think it's all about being compact for Sheffield United. They don't and won't give a lot away. They don't have to go and get a fourth goal, do they? Yes, it gives them that extra comfort, but I think the game will open up eventually where Chris will start to realise that, and I'm sure he'll say to his side, we sit in, we look compact, we work hard in these early stages because we know that Bristol City are going to come out as strong.
It was interesting after the first leg, Chris Wilder getting his players off the pitch as quickly as possible and saying, look, the job is not done yet.
I love that. I absolutely loved it. It's one thing that stood out, that when you see players getting overexcited, particularly the result that they had, you know, Leah, let's thank the fans, let's get on with it, we've still got jobs to do.
Ahmed Hodzic. Chowdhury, who's been a really good addition, playing right back in recent times and playing very well there as well. Twine's touch. Roberts. Adam Roberts has had a fair amount of joy down that left-hand side so far. Been a good outlet for Bristol City. Viner, another ever-present for the Robins this season. McCrory. Campering. I'm not sure he'll last the 90 minutes. He isn't fully fit, but needs must with his inclusion tonight. They are short in that area.
And they do look a lot more, I think, with even Pring and Roberts, looks more of a better balance, I feel. And they have got that sort of defensive side and defensive manner in the starting 11, but they've also got a threat going forward.
Pring. Roberts. I'm surprised that Roberts has been left alone over on that side so often as he is. Brooks is tucking in really tight on this right-hand side for Sheffield United.
Do you know what I think? Basically, I mean, the way that this formation is set up in the back three, and obviously the wing-backs getting forward, they're happy enough to force that ball out wide, aren't they? And that's where Chowdhury will go and get tight, and that's what they've done really well. And the thing is, it's been compact in midfield, in the central area. There's no way through, force them out wide. They want to put delivery into the box. They feel that they've got enough to defend that, and particularly from the full-back's perspective.
Burrows. What Tanner had in mind, I don't think. And Sheffield United happy to settle for the throw, just to take some of the heat out of the situation at the moment, because it's been all Bristol City thus far.
And I do also think that the way Sheffield United playing in this sort of 4-4-2, if you like, is that when they do and can win the ball back from Bristol City, if it is in them wide areas, that McCrory and Roberts are going to be way out of position, that leaves that little bit of a drive for either Harmer or Brooks.
Well, good to see Harry Maguire not forgetting his roots. Got a Europa League final to look forward to on the horizon. And one club he's supporting tonight, it's those in red and white. Burrows. Wells dropping in to help out defensively for Bristol City. He was subbed at half-time in the first leg, sacrificed after Rob Dickey's red card. And he'll be hoping to get a bit more joy in that Sheffield United penalty area. Just one touch he had.
Yeah, they didn't utilise him enough at all. I mean, obviously the red card was a massive blow for Bristol City, but even when he had all 11 on the pitch, it was, for me, he was blocked out. He didn't get enough service, and he's been the danger this season.
Chowdhury's header. Brooks unable to gather. Cannon putting the squeeze on Pring. And that's been turned over cheaply by Viner. Armour couldn't hold on to it. And there's a foul by Andre Brooks. Just look a little off colour here, Sheffield United, it has to be said.
Well, as I said, I don't think they've got to really go and score goals, have they? They look compact. And the thing is, you can have a lot of possession of the ball. I expected Bristol City to literally dominate the ball for long periods in this early stages, but they haven't really asked an awful lot of questions, have they? You know, Cooper's not had loads of saves to make or any clear-cut chances. It's all been in front of Sheffield United so far.
Peck losing it, and there's another strike which Cooper has to deal with. And it came from City Peck not winning his challenge here.
Yeah, it's a little bit scruffy, but Nicky Wells, he takes that strike on another save that I expect Michael Cooper to make, which he does. It straight down his throat. So I think this game will just materialise into something a little bit different. As I'm saying, Sheffield United get the ball at the back. They're looking predominantly to try and hit Kiefer Moore, aren't they, and try and squeeze up the pitch.
And Chris Wilder sticking with that 4-4-2 formation, which when they've played it this season, it has actually served them well. In 6 of their last 7 championship and playoff games playing that way. The only defeat when playing this particular system was that defeat at Burnley over Easter. There's Peck. Sousa. Palmer finding a pocket of space. And looking for the run of Brooks. Peck. Chowdhury. Brooks up against Roberts and Twine. Chowdhury delivering, looking for more. And clipped away by Jason Knight.
It's much better from the home side. Comes from that midfield area. Pick just let that ball run away from him, but really well to comes to the ball. Looking to Vinny Sousa. I think when Harmer comes off that touchline and drops into them little 10 pockets, he's so dangerous.
Sousa. Burrows. City Peck has really taken his opportunity with both hands this season when Ollie Arblaster was injured in the Sheffield derby. Voted as Sheffield United's Young Player of the Year, richly deserved.
Yeah, he's got a real tenacious bite about him. I like him, I really do. And he's very good on the ball. It's not all about that. He's got a bit of everything from that midfield role.
To shut down Hayden Roberts. Although shooting isn't his strongest suit, City Peck, perhaps an area of his game that he does have to work on, because he seemed to be on a personal mission to get on the score sheet the other night. He was getting closer with every strike, but not close enough.
Yes, I agree.
To score his first senior goal. Oh, that's pushed through, and Cooper stayed at home. Got there eventually.
It's a big hand, isn't it, from Keeper switching off. Sheffield United actually here. Earthy just picking out Nicky Wells. He's almost filtered that ball back into an area where you felt that Earthy might just have a simple header home.
A very intriguing start to the playoffs across all three divisions. Amazing that none of the home teams yet have won a tie.
It's absolutely crazy. It really is. There are exciting factors, aren't there, the plus? We know that, but I said in this first leg that Bristol City had to get something at home to bring to Bramall Lane to give themselves every single chance, but all over the board it seems that way.
Watching brief for Rob Dickey, he would love to be out there, but unable to take part after his red card, his second red card against Sheffield United this season. Here to offer moral support to his teammates. Roberts. Hutsic with the header out. Sent further on its way by Souza, but it comes back straight at them. Hacked away by Robinson that time. Andre Brooks. There's a Chowdhury, who has worked previously with Chris Wilder at Watford. And there he is, going into the tackle again. City Prep emerging with it and feeding Andre Brooks. He's running at Cam Pring and then losing it. Palmer shrugs off the challenge of McCrory. Onto the head of Kiefer Moore. Up and over it goes.
It just feels like it's opening up attack, doesn't it? Just seeing now Andre Brooks having a little bit of freedom. And then here on the left side, Palmer brushing McCrory off. But you know that physicality as well as skill.
Hassled by Twine, bringing a free kick, and it has gone his way. Burrows. Goal and an assist at Ashton Gate a few nights ago. There's Harmer. I'm pretty sure that every Sheffield United fan was perhaps hoping that Gus Harmer might be rested tonight. He's such an important player. But Chris Wilder making minimal changes, and the two changes he has made are not tactical, purely physical, as he puts it. This is Ryan Brewster and Tyrese Campbell do struggle with games in quick succession. And he's opted to give them a bit of a rest and keep them fresh.
I do think that having that healthy scoreline, I mean, you still want to keep the momentum, don't you? You want to keep the flow throughout the team, because high percentage knowing that they will be going to Wembley, so you don't want to be tweaking and changing too much. As you said, sometimes it's down to physicality more so. That's why I like what Chris has done this evening. It's still a strong team.
Jason Knight. This is Earthy. Tanner. Earthy again. McCrory delivering. Met by Robinson. Rallied forward by Moore. And taken by O'Leary.
Does that go down as it on the shot count?
Probably looked like it, didn't it? spotted that O'Leary was off his line, but it needed to be something particularly special to give him a major problem. Here's Roberts. Max Bird. Promotion winner with Derby last season. Roberts faced by Chowdhury. Tanner. Bristol City looking very comfortable on the ball, moving the ball around very nicely. And they fashion a meaningful chance at the end of it.
Yeah, I think if you're watching and looking at it from a Sheffield United perspective, you feel that there's sheer domination here from Bristol City. They don't quite, holding midfielders have not had to move because they know that there's a threat with Earthy and Twine. You look comfortable for me, Sheffield United.
And professional was very much the word at Ashton Gate as well. I thought it was a very accomplished performance. You know, when Bristol City were building up ahead of steam, they kept the ball, soaked it up a little bit, and then turned on the style when they had to. And let's put them in this commanding position going into this second leg.
It's been interesting the amount of times that United keeping the ball and then they've just gone for that direct approach. They're certainly looking every time to get them high up the pitch, looking out for Kiefer Moore. So he's just pulled a challenge out there and just steadied the ship, steadied the game down.
Burrows over this set play. All the target, and he's got that. That's what he's there for. Bristol City hold firm. Moore has an issue with his knee. Well, it does do. You want both sets of players to take some fluid on board. It's been a very hot day.
No, it's important that you take on the fluid with the heat that's been supplied today. But a few key words. I think Chris looks a little bit, looks upon anxiously just to see if Kiefer Moore is actually okay. I'm not sure whether it might have been, maybe he landed on it. It's the only thing you can kind of see there. Immediately goes for that right knee. Let's just hope it's nothing major. And if there's any doubt, I'm pretty sure that Chris will look. Say that we've got that strength on the bench, we have to utilise that.
Tyrese Campbell is waiting in the wings if necessary. He did score when these two met here earlier in the season. The Blades 1-0 up before Bristol City scored a very late equaliser through Mark Sykes, whose season is over and picks up an injury. Concern here over the condition of Kiefer Moore. United's co-owners hoping that Chris Wilder can get the job done and get them into the Premier League. I don't know much about their plans for the future. They've not actually done any media interviews since taking over just before Christmas. There is a bit of mystique about those two.
Too bad though, is it? You know, you don't want someone coming in and promising the world. I'm sure that the things going on behind the scenes that we're looking at for next season. Obviously potential back in the Premier League.
One of the first things they did do was tie Chris Wilder down to a new contract. And as I mentioned before, he was backed heavily in January. Play can resume. For more, receiving additional treatment now.
I wonder whether that was a little bit of game plan there, actually, with Kiefer Moore. I know that
it's usually goalkeepers that go down, isn't it?
It usually is, but Moore is certainly moving okay now.
Oh, Harmer's nicked it beyond Tanner. Cannon waiting in the middle. Moore arriving as well. And Brooks coming in at the far stick, can't make contact. And Cannon was in there on his own to start with before additional support arrived.
I'm actually saying Kiefer Moore, and he's not even on the pitch, is he? It's Tom Cannon there that tries to get across. Brooks comes in late. That ball's just a little bit too high, I think. I'm not sure, though. Brooks looks like maybe he could have done a little bit of purchase on that cross. Kiefer Moore back on the pitch and moving okay. So Chris Wilder will be assessing that as things go by.
Well, the Blades have recovered well after that week from hell. And they lost to Oxford, Millwall and Plymouth Argyle in the space of a week, and ultimately ended their hopes of finishing in the top two. It's time to reset, and that they have done. And they are in a prime position here. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and the scoreline in the tie hasn't changed.
I tell you what, Vinicius has been absolutely magnificent in there, by the way. He has picked anything up that's dropped. It hasn't been pretty at time, but what he does is so effective.
He's really turned his career around. He was the scapegoat in the Premier League last season. Poor kickback from Leary. And Cannon taking aim. And O'Leary can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, they won't want any cheap mistakes, cheap goals conceded. This could have been one of them. So O'Leary clearing his lines, and just to the rescue.
Well, we know what's coming here. Robinson able to launch this one into the penalty area. This is a real weapon for the Blades. It's heading the way of Kiefer Moore. And struck goalwards, and it's deflected wide, is it? It was off the boot of Burrows. He was the one who pulled the trigger.
It was. It was just going to land to Kiefer Moore, that first throw in there, and then the strike from Burrows is a big deflection. That wouldn't have been too far away, you know. A really good block from Campering.
Burrows with his less favoured right foot that time. And Sheffield United have a corner, which Gustavo Harmer will deliver. It's a tester for O'Leary. Patted out, there's Burrows again. Plenty of traffic now between him and the goal. Burrows' cross. O'Leary came, wasn't convincing. Pushed it away by Roberts. And Sheffield United here increasing the pressure. And that's better from O'Leary. Clean pair of hands on that one. And a quick release too. McKee Wells, the furthest man forward for Bristol City. He's done well, actually. He's got a corner of City Cup.
He's done really well. I mean, it's great distribution from Max O'Leary, wanting to get Bristol City high up the pitch, try and catch Sheffield United out, because they've had that attack, but the three big calls here is literally falling back. There was a little pull there, you could see the shirt just getting pulled, big arm away. I'm not sure who's grabbing hold of him. Certainly is a pull there from Tom Cannon. And then another big decision. As you said, it wasn't convincing, but enough on the fist. Did enough to just get that ball away.
Played short by Twine, earthy. Had it taken off his toe. And Chowdhury leading the charge here. Feeding Harmer. Brooks motoring into the middle. Gustavo Harmer, usually so reliable in those sorts of situations. A rare error from him.
Yeah, it's confidence, that is, isn't it? I mean, listen, he knows what he was intending to do there, just outside of the boot, and usually it comes off. He just gets that one wrong. I totally see what he was intending for. Just a pick out, maybe. Andre Brooks, who was coming in on that back post. Stephen Chowdhury was joining in on the attack.
Bristol City need to return to the levels that they were producing earlier in the half. Giving it a really good crack, but managed to cause too many problems since.
As I said, I feel that was the game plan. I've got no doubt of that. When you've got three goals ahead, you don't have to start going chasing. You can sit in and beak and pat. You can nullify things that are thrown at you. That's what Sheffield United have done and grown into this first half.
Burrows, chased down by McCrory. Harmer. Peck. Peck's cross. And flipped away. Safety first by Roberts.
And it's a great ball, you know, from City Peck. Two centre forwards, nothing caught on the heels. Look, there's no movement. That is a ball that if someone makes that initial approach, that initial run towards goal, you don't have half a squeaker getting on the end of. Super cross.
5 to go to half-time. Robinson in the picture, he's ventured forward for it. The height of Ahmed Hodzic in there as well, and Vinny Souza and Kiefer Moore. All potential targets here for Harrison Burrows to try and hit. Bit of a commotion inside the penalty area. Knocked in by Burrows now. Moore! Tie over! Sheffield United are Wembley bound, and all hope is surely gone for Bristol City.
Yes, I agree. It's 4-0 now, and how can they get back into this game? Big moments, but the ball in. I'll tell you what, it's one of them teasing crosses, because Max O'Leary, you don't know if to come initially, and then once he comes, he's in all sorts of trouble, because there's only one winner here, and that's the big man that rises above everyone, Kiefer Moore. He's got momentum, as you can see there. Too late. You've got to take absolutely everything. He's way off the mark, and that's why Kiefer Moore gets in front of his defender, and it's just a glance into goal. That looks like Sheffield United are Wembley bound.
Kiefer Moore's first goal in 12 appearances, and that effectively ends it, surely, for Liam Manning's team.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, you get good delivery, you get good situations. Harrison Burrows there with that in-swinging corner. And I was just thinking, if we get to half-time, I'm sure that Chris Wilder would have been happy with it being 0-0. Obviously with that 3-0 advantage. But now there's a massive cushion. Manning has to do something. I was thinking he would make changes at half-time for sure, even if it was 0-0. And I thought that he had to maybe bring on, or he has to bring on Sinclair Armstrong. He has to ask more questions. Because yes, they've had a lot of football, but They haven't really caused many problems to Sheffield United.
And Blades fans were quietly confident, but they know what this game can throw up sometimes. But surely now it's mission accomplished.
It's a great header, isn't it, from Kiefer Moore as well. That would do him the world of good going into the Wembley final. And I think he does an awful lot for the team, particularly playing in this 4-4-2. The delivery was an absolute peach, and that you totally take your hat off to Harrison Burrows, and when it's there, goalkeeper comes, defenders can't deal with it. It's a really good finish from Kiefer Moore.
I wonder whether we'll see changes at half-time from Chris Wilder as well, because surely now, in the back of his head, he's thinking, Wembley on the horizon, is it time to start whipping certain individuals off?
Yeah, I think it'll be the 60-minute mark, I really do. I think he'll be looking to give some of them players who probably haven't got as much game time, and players that might have to come on and be used at Wembley, if it does stay this way.
Here come the Blades again. Kiefer Moore, he's got one. It's here for Roberts. Asking rather a lot of Nicky Wells. Never really stood any chance of reaching that. He did well the other night, I thought, as well. Kiefer Moore brought something different to the table. He's had a frustrating time this season. A few problems, only recently returned from hernia surgery. And let's not forget, he started the season when Sheffield United flew out of the traps. And then was unable to be called upon for some time.
The player is the focal point for what players that he has in and around him.
Here they come again, Burrows. Moore let it run.
You know, you look at centre-forwards and his physicality, don't you? And automatically you just feel that that's him. It's not, he has a lot more about his game than that. He brings players into play. He's got good touch. His work ethic. He's more than capable of scoring all kinds of goals as well. So, key addition to the Sheffield United team.
Sheffield United coming into these playoffs, the squad that had the least amount of playoff experience. What they do have, though, is players with big game experience in their ranks. And that could be so valuable. As Brooks looks to make inroads, stopped in his tracks by Roberts. Twine. Earthy. It ran under the boot of Max Bird.
Interesting to see what Ian Manning does at half-time. He's got to keep this team believing. He really has. It's hard. Looking at the score now, and 4 goals to get back on level terms with Sheffield United here at Bramall Lane. It's an absolute mountain plus to do so, but he's going to have to come with something different.
Chowdhury. We are in first half additional time, by the way. You can see they're playing 3 extra minutes. Peck. This is Cannon. O'Leary is there to gather.
One thing I will say is that looking at Bristol City's bench, they do have a lot of the attacking threat on there. The likes of Harry Cornick, Sam Bell, Hirakawa, touched on Sinclair Armstrong, Mehmeti. I think that's what we will see. Plenty of them players will feature, I would say, in this second half.
McCrory. It's too straight from Bird. Dropped on by Michael Cooper. They made a positive start, but Sheffield United have stamped their authority on this game. And Chris Wilder now is 45 minutes away from confirming Sheffield United's spot at Wembley in the Championship playoff final. Kiefer Moore's goal is the difference on the night, but Sheffield United are way out in front in the tie, leading by 4-0 on aggregate. Interesting song choice at half-time. Took me back to my student days. Grace, it's not over yet was being played. We can safely say this is over, Lee.
I think so, yeah. Well, I mean, it worked well for this game, didn't it? You did feel that that tune was probably set up for them coming out Bristol City. I think it is over.
So, Kiefer Moore's goal on the night is the one that splits them, but crucially, Sheffield United with what is seemingly an unassailable lead now, 4-0 overall. And Blades fans 45 minutes away from knowing that their team is going to Wembley, although they're pretty much there already in truth. Bristol City get us back underway. No changes for either side at the break, which I think will surprise Lee Hendry, especially from a Bristol City perspective.
Yeah, straight away, that was one thing I was wanting to see who was going to come out, who possibly could have come on. But it's the same team, it hasn't changed anything. Yes, I know that they showed glimpses, but there's a lot of goals that need to be scored to get back anywhere near this game and to give them half a glimmer of hope, you would say. So I'm very, very surprised.
No mean feat scoring against Sheffield United, considering they kept 22 clean sheets in the Championship. Only Burnley, Leeds and Wrexham conceded fewer goals in the whole of the EFL. This is Max Bird for Jason Knight. McCrory. Bird again. Knight finds himself surrounded but keeps it moving. And Knight was fouled. City Peck has caught him for sure.
This is definitely Scott Twine territory, isn't it? Not just one too many passes for me, but it just gets caught on the edge of the box. Listen, Knight, it's definitely a foul right in front of Peter Banks as well. This is a really good opportunity for Bristol City.
It was Andre Brooks who considered the foul. It's usually City Peck in situations like that, such as his desire to try and win the ball back for his team. He wasn't too far away, he was in the vicinity, but it was Brooks who committed the foul. And Scott Twine is the man over it. 5 league goals this season. He has scored 2 direct free kicks. I've seen him score goals from situations such as this in the past. As Bristol City fans right behind Michael Cooper's goal. It's Twine. And Cooper looks so calm and relaxed and casual almost, and he just flipped it over the top.
Yeah, it's a good free kick. It's one that Cooper should definitely save. It's straight down the middle of the goal. Anywhere either side it could possibly have been a problem. It takes something special to beat Michael Cooper in goal, though.
It's away by Peck. And Bristol City spent just 38 days in the top 6. It's their first playoff campaign in 17 years. And it is going to come to an end unless there is something truly extraordinary in the pipeline.
Yeah, they need something ridiculous to turn this game around. Credit to them, though, they've kept going. I mean, they've had a brilliant season, there's no doubt of that. The expectations would have been nowhere near probably playoffs, but Manning's done a brilliant job. I must say they've been easy on the eye to watch. You can see the way they try and play, keep possession of the ball. They've had a very, very good season.
They do really need, though, is a bit more punch on the top end of the pitch, you feel. Yes, Mehmeti's got 12, McKee Wells has got 10. But just can't help but feel they could offer that a little bit more, and maybe that's something that they'll be looking to address in the summer.
Yeah, well, where they've got to, it's a platform now for them to go and invest, build on. They've got potential, I must say. They do just miss that little bite and that edge forward, don't they? And that's why they brought the likes of Sinclair Armstrong, still learning, still pretty raw, I feel, but they need a little bit more.
There's Earthy having a crack. Adamson's block.
The goal will really give them a bit of belief. I'm pretty sure of that. I think this is going to be a very similar setup to what we've seen in that first half. Sheffield United won't go. That's it, they'll sit and defend. And they'll be happy just to let Bristol City have the ball in front of them, as they did brilliantly, I feel, in the first half. And then A bit of quality started to shine through from the home side.
Earthy. Viner. Now Pring, who's been dispossessed by Tom Cannon, and off he goes. Kiefer Moore has made the run for him, that's who he was looking for. And Bristol City recovered well in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure Cam Pring will thank Zach Viner and his pocket picked by Tom Cannon. I thought he was going to go alone. He was definitely trying to pick out his partner in crime there in Kiefer Moore. Good pressure.
It is a big opportunity for several players out there for Sheffield United to try and stake a claim for a starting spot even at Wembley. Although I think the starting 11 is pretty much nailed on these days for Chris Wilder, but there might be one or two hoping to change his thinking. Burrows plays it flat, and it was left alone, and Harmer's onto it! And it is in! In Gus they trust. Gustavo Harmer doubles Sheffield United's lead on the night as they pull even further clear in this one. They are cruising towards the Wembley arch.
Yeah, they really are. The atmosphere's just gone up. Another notch. This is well worked. Burrows' little lead there for Harmer. It's a massive, massive deflection. Ross McCrory gives absolutely no chance. Look at the ricochet. I mean, it's off the post. He's never going to get there. But when you leave a player of that calibre on the edge of the box who comes on, hits that strike, yes, might get fortunate, but it's one they've worked on, and the big smiles over every single Blade fan, plus the main man Chris Wilder himself. I can safely say, I think that's good night.
Well, for once, Chris Wilder allowing himself a smile after that one. Well, the co-owners are very, very happy.
Yeah, no surprise. No surprise. It's been a real professional performance. It really has. When they've chose times to go forward, when they've chose times to pick out the right situations to go and attack, they have done. I mean, they've had to defend. They've done it gamely.
Well, Chris Wilder will want to change the course of history. Only one manager for Sheffield United has ever won at Wembley. It was back in 1925 when John Nicholson led them to FA Cup success. Well, the dream, the boyhood Blade, is about to be realised, to lead out his club under the arch. Question is, who will they face? The other tie taking place tomorrow, and Coventry trail 2-1 as they head up to Sunderland.
Whoever they play, it's going to be a tough task, but it's all about keeping Sheffield United on the wavelength they're on there, keeping the momentum, keeping the belief.
And it goes to Wells, and no harm at all for Michael Cooper.
It's an easy one. Difficult for Naki Wells to beat Michael Cooper, trying to adjust his head this season. Brilliant, it really is. I mean, as you said, it means a hell of a lot to him, doesn't it? This football club.
Well, he's done an amazing job, of that there's no question. When you think back to last summer, he barely had a squad. It's been completely rebuilt. It was a club that was on its knees after what happened in the Premier League. And I remember a pre-season game they played at Huddersfield. It was made up of kids, 90% of it. But he's managed to get them ticking. Here's Moore. And they're queuing up, hoping to get a taste of the action just outside the box. And Kiefer Moore pleading for a foul that he doesn't get.
still shocked that there's been no changes. I mean, I'm not saying that you get back into the game, but you have to give yourself every single chance.
Here's Bird. City kept putting himself in the line of fire. Pring. Oh, he's halted here. Andre Brooks is down.
This was a challenge that I think it was brought upon himself. I think the bench just the game to a halt because he thought it was more serious. Nasty ones out. Just taking the follow through the bottom of the studs.
And Sheffield United have been beaten in 3 playoff finals at this level. Their last was a 1-0 defeat to Burnley back in 2009, something that the chap alongside me knows all about.
I've tried to forget that.
Didn't end well for you or the team, did it? Let's be honest.
No, it didn't. It definitely didn't. No. Listen, they're great days, but so much disappointment when you're not getting what you want out of the day. That's where Sheffield United have to overcome the big situation. I feel that they're strong enough, way stronger. And I mean that from the back staff to the squad of players that they have here.
Notice you conveniently skirted over the fact that you saw a red card in that Championship playoff final.
Yes, it was frustration from maybe getting the lack of minutes I wanted to prove to the Sheffield United fans that I was there to help the cause. Didn't happen.
Well, they know you were there now anyway for that red card. You weren't the only one that day though, as I recall. Jamie Ward?
Jamie Ward, yeah, there
as well.
There was a lot going on.
Triple change from Liam Manning. Anis Mehmeti, who is their top scorer with 12, will be introduced. Scott Twine making way. Marcus McGuane will come on for Max Bird. Also coming on for George Murphy, so Hirakawa and Mehmeti will play in behind the key Wells. They need to try and find something a little bit different. They need to try and get on the score sheet if they can to give those travelling supporters something to cheer at least. Hirakawa. Steered wide now to Mehmeti. Hirakawa back for Knight. And has a go! Well, that was really travelling. Michael Cooper barely moved.
He's had a brilliant season as well, hasn't he? Jason Knight just takes this upon himself. That isn't a million miles away, and you can see that by the reaction of Cooper. He's just always just rising above his goal.
And Cannon threatens to get clear of Pring. He's done it. That was a fabulous block from Zach Viner.
Yeah, it's Viner to the rescue once again. Pring slips, causes his own problems, and I'll tell you what, the easiest option, look at Kiefer Moore, he's in acres of space, but every good striker, they're not looking to pass when they're in the 18-yard box, 8 yards out. And it ends up being an unbelievable block from Zach Viner.
Palmer with this corner at the top end. Easy there on that one, kept alive by Moore. There's Burrows. And the possibility of a Bristol City break. Manetti has it. Closing down from Kiefer Moore. Triple change now coming up for Sheffield United. And again, a real sign of the strength and depth that Chris Wilder has at his disposal when he can bring on players of this quality. Andre Brooks is the first to depart. And Brewster coming on. Callum O'Hare thrown into the action also. Kiefer Moore departs for him. Tyrese Campbell, last of the three to make their entrance.
It really does show the strength, doesn't it, in depth. But you look at, we said about that 60-minute mark where there might be changes, just freshen things up. That's exactly what Chris Wilder's done. He knows his game's pretty much done, but light for light, maybe a bit more solidness, fresh legs. That's what he wants. It might even be the fact that Tyrese Campbell won't be able to go and get himself a goal.
Well, there is some quality that Chris Wilder's not been able to turn to tonight. Ben Brereton Diaz, Oliver Arblaster, of course, played a big role in Sheffield United's start to the season. And Sariki trying to get back to full fitness in time for Wembley as well, among others. Kick forward by Harmer to O'Hare, and there's Campbell, who goes close to scoring with his first touch of the game.
It's so clever. Have a look at this from pass from Harmer. Same wavelength as Callum O'Hare. And then he just tries to pick out Campbell, who's in an area just thinking, is it going to happen? First touch, he does get that contact. Unfortunately, just wide.
There is something about that Harmer and O'Hare combination that just works so well. Obviously they play together at Coventry, but they're almost telepathic at times when they play together.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And it works well at Coventry, but it also works well in this Sheffield United side. You know, Callum O'Hare's not got as much minutes as he thought he might do, particularly his back end of the season, but I know he's capable of coming on and bringing a spark, bringing an identity and energy.
Some goal he scored the other night, wasn't it?
Brilliant goal.
Here's Brewster. He's also played his part with some big goals this season, none bigger than the winner in the Sheffield derby at Hillsborough, no less. And despite all of his injury troubles, Chris Wilder is determined to keep him. Talks are ongoing over a new contract. Bit of an eyebrow raiser to some, given his injury record, but Chris Wilder, a big fan of his. Here's Pack. Burrows. O'Hare couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell.
I'll tell you what, how quickly has this game changed? I know that the confidence levels have gone up for Sheffield United, but just that freshness. What they did the other night actually was pretty much the same. Key subs coming on and just giving them a bit more freshness and a bit more spark. As you said, in that game at Wembley on the 24th of May, everyone will want to be in that starting 11. I'll tell you that now, will be a part of that squad.
O'Hare thread it through for Campbell. And the wait to the final isn't as long as it used to be, is it? I seem to recall back in the day, after that second leg of the semi-final, the wait seemed to go on for what felt like forever, but it comes around much quicker now.
No, I think it's better the way it does that, because you're waiting and waiting, aren't you? The season's done and dusted. Waiting is for that big Wembley day, and it's hard enough 2 days, 3 days before, because it's always going to be on your mind, the thought process of it.
Chris Wilder does not have any special plans up his sleeve, taking the players away or anything like that. Spoke to him yesterday, said the players will get the weekend off this coming weekend. They'll have a couple of days light training and then it's match week again. There's Kamara. Terrific to see. His struggles off the pitch, but I was with him actually at a dinner a couple of weeks ago. He's just brilliant.
What a character, what a character. Never changes, does it? It's exactly the same as years and years ago. Ages well.
A Sheffield United player, of course, one of his other clubs, already booked their place in the Premier League next season, Leeds United. It was one of the few occasions I was let out by the wife, by the way.
I didn't want to say anything.
Robinson. What a position for these Sheffield United players to be in. They can really enjoy themselves now, can't they? Knowing the job is done. They have to overexert themselves, do they?
No, definitely not. But as I said, I'm pretty sure that the likes of Callum O'Hare, who's come on, he'll want to stake a claim, won't he? As you said, he scored that fabulous goal. And the team probably does pick itself for that Wembley day, but still a little way off, and you just never know what might be around the corner training. You know, there could be little injuries, there could be niggles. You always want to make sure that you're going to be a part of it in some way.
Callum O'Hare will be desperate to play at Wembley. He missed Coventry's playoff final with Luton through injury. Another change. Tampering withdrawn. Sam Bell thrown on. A forward-thinking change from Liam Manning. Comfortable watch for Rob Dickey, but powerless to do anything about it.
Must be hard, mustn't it? I mean, obviously, the decision that probably turned this tie on its head a little bit, you must say.
Took his players go-karting one year before yet more playoff pain that they suffered at the hands of Wolves at the Millennium Stadium. It was a thing to try and fill the time, really, more than anything else. But Chris Wilder not taking that approach with this lot. Never even scored in a playoff final, never mind win one. It's got to change.
Listen, records are there to be changed and broken, whether it's bad or good. You know, you do feel that you look at the here and the now, and I feel that Sheffield United have been strong all season. At times they haven't played well throughout the season and got results, but that just shows the signs of hunger and desire.
Bell spotted a gap, tried to get through it, couldn't quite manage it. Sousa opening out the play, or at least trying to. Knight. Corey. Tracking back. There's Roberts, it's ambitious. And Cooper watched it all the way.
I think that's been the story of the evening, actually, in the tie for Bristol City. It's been long-range efforts that they've been need to resort to, and that's because of how solid Sheffield United have been and approached this game. There's no doubt of that.
Michael Cooper looks the coolest man in the entire stadium. He always does, and I think that cannot be underestimated, really, the calming influence that he's brought to that back line for Sheffield United this season, as well as some excellent saves along the way, of course. O'Hare's flick round the corner, neatly done. Campbell, now O'Hare, it's Brewster. Bristol City with bodies in the way.
It just shows what Sheffield United can do to teams in. It's the flick of a heartbeat coming out brilliant from Callum O'Hare. The strikers are far away from Brewster. That's been another big blow.
Jezron Raksaki is coming on as Gustavo Harmer goes off yet again to a standing ovation. He is some player, and he is going to have a big role to play as Sheffield United go on to win promotion back to the top flight. An embrace from his manager and Alan Neil, Chris Wilder's number 2. Jezron Raksaki, on loan from Crystal Palace, who have a date themselves at Wembley to look forward to. FA Cup final coming up. Bristol City will just want this done now, won't they?
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, there's just no way back, and there hasn't been real clear-cut signs of it. And that's why I keep saying it, but you have to respect the Sheffield United side. No nods, they know how to go about their business, and they've gone about it brilliantly again this evening with it. Performance, you might say that they could have gone a little bit more attack-minded. They didn't have to. It was all about managing the game, bringing on players, freshening things up, making sure that Bristol City get tired, which they will do eventually, and they have done. And that's where gaps have appeared, goals have ended up coming, and it's completely done.
Should give them real belief, though, shouldn't it, going into next season, the fact they got to this point.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. As I said, I've been so impressed with what Ian Manning's done. He's got some talented players on his hands. He does need that little bit more for next season. They won't have the budget that some of these sides have got in the Championship, so credit where credit's due. They've had a brilliant season. Probably shocked a few as well.
Yep, squeaking in on the final day. John O'Shea in attendance tonight. He's having a gander at. Plenty of familiar faces watching on. Raksaki onto O'Hare, shut down quickly by Weiner.
The only time that there's been a problem, they've caused their own problems at times. Bristol City have. Cheap pass here, Sam Bell. They're going to tight call, but guess who comes to the rescue once again? He's had a great evening, Zach Weiner. Here's a real big, important box. Maybe a few more.
With the corner. It's attacked by Ahmed Hodzic. Brewster really can hit a ball. The Bristol City man in his way. Chowdhury, who is now a Bangladesh international, and some amazing scenes when he went to play for them for the first time in the last international break. I don't think he was expecting what he got. He was absolutely mobbed. Never seen anything like it. It was quite the welcome. Raksaki showing really good feet. Couldn't find anyone in red and white. Hirakawa. Roberts. Bell. It's a good ball onto the chest of McCrory. Another hit Hirakawa on the back of the head. Didn't know too much about that. Here's O'Hare. Raksaki.
So comfortable now, isn't it? And it is about ticking. Seems to go forward or just keeping possession of the ball, just running down the clock, taking your time.
It's a clever ball, City Peck! He's claiming O'Leary got a hand on it.
He's looking for that goal. Just slowed down the pace and then saying, well, it's not a bad shot, is it, from City Peck? Just always going away from the far post. Maybe a little bit high. Just does enough. Maybe put him off, Jason Knight there.
I said earlier, shooting's not his strongest suit. Maybe he's leaving it for Wembley, that one special moment, who knows. Bell. One thing that Chris Wilder will demand is a clean sheet from this point.
And I think all over the pitch, you have to say that they're demanding the utmost. Ronnie, you won't want to concede goals. Obviously, they've scored enough goals to take them through to the final, but as you said, anything that goes be positive for Sheffield United going into that final. So clean sheet is a must, I'd say, as well.
Here's Bell. Chowdhury sharply into the challenge. He's been a brilliant addition, by the way. Knows what it takes to get out of this division. He's played in multiple positions, but he is a man you can certainly rely on wherever he plays.
He's versatile as well, isn't he? That's the thing. You can go and play in midfield. He can usually, as he has done, dropped into that right-back role when need be.
And that's been the one position this season that Chris Wilder's not quite been able to get right. As Tanner takes it on from distance, and Cooper, one for the cameras, tips it round.
Another good save, but as you said, he's very cool. Tanner taking this off. It's another shot from distance. That deflection makes it a little bit more difficult. It's another save that he should make, and he does.
Here comes the corner, headed out by Brewster. Knight. Drop of the shoulder from Bell, then let himself down with the second touch.
Yeah, he's really unlucky as well, because he turns wanting to go forward, but just comes off the foot that's going forward.
Tom Davis to be introduced. Vinny Souza departs. This is another fine game tonight, breaking up the play. His ability to sense danger is a real strength.
Well, he's had a great evening, he really has. I mean, sometimes people don't understand what he actually does. He does absolutely brilliant things defensively. Man can just push Sheffield United forward with his quality passing.
Tom Davis on in his place. Harry Cornick has come on for Bristol City. Mickey Wells has made way for him. Here come the Blades with Brewster. Campbell's up there with him. Can he find a way through a hairball? flashes it right across the face of goal. It's a flag anyway.
It's just so dangerous though, when they go forward. Bundles of energy. It's a Brewster, Aksaki's on there. Campbell, O'Hare, it's all fresh legs in them forward areas. It's the last thing defenders want to see.
Plethora of attacking options, but the thing that he's been really pleased about is the impact that his subs have made. It'd be very easy for them to, in his words, spit the dummy out, but everybody that's coming on from the bench is contributing.
You have to buy into the programme. That's the thing, this is a very big football club. Lots of expectations, fan base, everything that goes with it. And a very good squad of players in it. Top manager. So Chris won't have none of that, will he? Everyone's got to be and play a part in this promotion push. And they've showed that over the season. Credit to them. So it's quite easy to be disappointed that we've gone off automatically. I've been impressed. I really have, because it's difficult going into a playoff situation when expectation levels are always there that you should have been automatically promoted and you've just missed out.
Don't tell him, by the way, that they amassed 90 points across the season. You will be corrected. He will tell you they've earned 92 points. They started the season, of course, with that 2-point deduction. He does not take it too kindly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If you mention the 90-point mark. But it would have been enough, more often than not, to get them promoted automatically. It's just been an incredible season. Two teams at the top, winning 100 points each, Leeds and Burnley. Sheffield United, at the moment, on track to join them there next term. Does it slip through here? Oh, lovely leave. O'Hare! The icing on the cake. And Sheffield United warming up for the big one in some style.
What an absolute goal to watch. I mean, this is the icing on the cake from two very good performances. Brewster starts this off. It's a great run from Torres Campbell. Have a look at this as well. This is absolutely first class. Harrison Burrows forward, sees, has a little look up, sees who's there. Callum O'Hare, of course he is 6 yards out. He's not missing from there. He tucks that home. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you what, it's great to see. It really is momentum, confidence. They've got it all, and they've proved that over the 2 ties.
Well, he scored in both legs. Callum O'Hare. Just timely reminder to Chris Wilder that he is deserving of a start. Well, Bristol City's players just want to be swallowed up by a big hole and disappear. As convincing as it gets.
Now, I'm pleased for Callum O'Hare as well. You know, he's come on in both the first and the second leg and really showed that he's hungry. He really has, and I know it's been tough at times for him because he comes to a football club and he wants to deliver, and he will deliver at this football club throughout. I'll tell you that now. He's a quality, top class player. Let's not forget that he had a bad injury as well, that he's had to work so hard to get back to close to his best. I feel he won't be far off, and what Sheffield United fans must be looking and thinking, we have so much talent on the field and waiting to come on.
Murakawa and Bristol City perhaps at least have the final say in this. Heading into the last 5 minutes of the 90, Bristol City season coming to a shuddering halt. Tanner.
To be fair, they have kept trying to probe and keep going. I have to give them credit where credit's due. I know that the scoreline reads completely blown away, but They have kept trying to pass the ball, they have kept trying to work hard off the ball. Just come up against top-class side.
Absolutely. Here's Campbell. And the squeeze on Roberts, who goes down. And the Blades will be heading up to the home of football for the first time since that FA Cup semi-final loss to Manchester City. They are without a win at Wembley in their last 7 appearances. But tonight, the dream has died for Bristol City. They knew they were facing an uphill struggle, to put it mildly, but Steve Lansdowne, their owner, I'm sure when the dust settles, will reflect and look to the future with positivity, but Ian Manning, I'm sure, will be looking for some backing in the summer. Haven't signed a single player in January. It's a very, very small squad. And what they've come up against tonight, it's a squad full of depth. And it shows you that if you've got options, you can go a long, long way.
Yeah, you can. That's the difference in the league all over. We've seen it in League One, didn't we? Birmingham City, Wrexham. Obviously, squad depth, budget-wise, helps to the cause. And that's why you have to give a hell of a lot of credit to Bristol City and Manning, because they've had a brilliant season. They've shocked a hell of a lot. The teams the likes of Borough that didn't get near. There's some big clubs that have obviously disappointed this season.
Hodzic, Brewster, Tom Davis, who has been plagued by injuries throughout his time here, but he did score a memorable late winner against Sunderland here at the end of November. A team they could yet face in the final, Sunderland, with that 2-1 advantage over Coventry when the two do battle again tomorrow at the Stadium of Light. Raksaki. Davis. Oceans of space out there. And Ryan Brewster. Burrows.
The finals teed up to be a real tasty one as well, isn't it? Whether it beat Sunderland or Coventry. So certainly look forward to.
Davis. He's caught late. But, this will mean a great deal to that man there. He's achieved so much during his time as manager at the club, of course, in his first spell, taking them from League One to the Premier League. A top 10 finish in the Premier League in his first season, let's not forget. But yet to lead them out in a Wembley showpiece. So another feather in the cap. But one that will only be remembered if they win.
Yes, definitely. You know that himself, that they've achieved nothing at the moment. And that's right. I've always been a big admirer of Chris Wilder. He's had to change an awful lot. The squad that obviously dispersed, he had to rebuild really at the start. And that's where, I keep saying it, the recruitment, yes, they invested in Jan, but they brought some really good players into the building.
Sheffield United are the first team this season to book their place at Wembley. For Chris Wilder, A dream realised. He gets the opportunity to lead out his beloved Blades in the Championship playoff final later this month. A resounding success across the two legs over Bristol City, who were outclassed at Ashton Gate, and the same has happened again. 3-0 at their place, 3-0 in the Steel City. Sheffield United progress 6-0 on aggregate, and now they wait to see who they will face in the final. It'll be Coventry City or Sunderland. They play tomorrow, but right now it is celebration time.
Yeah, it definitely is. For now, we've seen what Chris Wilder did at Ashton Gate. Yes, you have that little bit of congratulations. Yes, you enjoy the moment. You're only halfway there. You've got a massive game on the horizon. Be ready. Thank everyone. Get ready for Wembley. That's the one thing, and the message that will be branded across to his players. I just want to credit Liam Manning of Bristol City. Really kept going, kept trying, and had a brilliant season. So I have to highlight that as well. I know that the scoreline reads ridiculous scoreline, but they've come up against a fantastic Sheffield United side over the two legs.
Yeah, Bristol City have to refocus, reset, but in the cold light of day, they will look to how they finish the season and look to kick on from next. It will give them hope going forward. And their players go over to applaud their travelling army of supporters. They tried their utmost, but they came up against a better side who finished 22 points ahead of them in the table and were right in the mix for automatic promotion until the last couple of weeks of the campaign. Liam Manning, as Lee says, can be rightly proud of what they've done this term. But the night belongs to Sheffield United, who are the first on the Wembley guest list. And whoever they play next, it is going to be some final with so much on the line. Rather understated look on the face of Chris Wilder, which is a bit of a surprise. But the co-ownership will be very, very happy, and they'll get to sample Wembley in their first season at the club.